create characters in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, they're making TV shows out of Grand Theft Auto, which is brilliant.
You know, it's video games have just you know, they're just so much more. They're just so much more than we ever thought they would be. I mean, like I said.
Well, people were still calling them a fad, even up to Nintendo. When
Yeah.
Nintendo came up, people were still, oh, this is a fad. Kids are going to get sick of this. And it's like, no, they're not. This is going to get huge.
Well, like, I remember, like the Atari 2600, it was pretty simple, you know, shoot everything on the screen, or if you did get, like, those games like Raiders of the Lost Ark or something like that that was really intricate, you know, that had a lot of intricate parts. But then Nintendo comes along, and you open up the instruction booklet, and you read this story about a plumber who ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom and now has to save a princess, and you know when you're playing, that's your objective. You're going to save a princess. Of course, she's always in another fucking castle. But, you know, or Link, or Metroid, where you're on an alien planet and you have to kill all the Metroids and Mother Brain. And nowadays, they're movies. Nowadays, they're fucking cinematic movies that you could just...
Yeah, you get to be the character. Like that new Spider-Man game's coming out. You get to be Spider-Man.
I can't wait.
You get to be fucking Spider-Man. That's insane. It's unbelievable. It blows my mind how far just graphics and the way they make video games and what they can do with shit now. It's mind-blowing.
Well, the Arkham games, you got to be Batman. For like
the
first
exactly.
time, be Batman. Now, if they
and they're huge open world Gotham, like especially the last one where you just had the whole fucking city. You could just patrol the whole city as Batman. That's amazing.
And there's so many alcoves, and they put so much stuff in from the comics, and you're just like, I've read about that. Now I get to see it. You know. Now, if they can give us a Batman game or a game like Arkham for like Superman or Flash, or those other DC characters.
Oh yeah, I would love to see solo games for all those characters. I would love to see a Flash game. I would love to see a Green Lantern game where you meet the Green Lantern Corps and you fly to different planets in space and do stuff. Figure out how to do different light constructs. That would be awesome.
I mean, it's weird that when we're talking about the Spider-Man game and we're actually going to get this, truly. Now they did, I guess, with Spider-Man 2, which was a great game. But with this one, you'll get to swing all over New York. You'll get to do all this stuff, and it's kind of funny that the superhero game that really did allow us to have that open world Marvel feel was Lego Marvel. Did you ever play Lego Marvel?
I never played it. My nephew played it. He played all the Lego games like Indiana Jones and.
Lego Marvel was so awesome because it really was all of New York. You had all of New York, and you could go everywhere. And they had the event in Stark Tower. They had the Baxter Building. They had Pym Labs. Alchemex was there. Roxxon Corporation. Everything was right there. The X Mansion. Everything was there, and it was truly open world. You can go wherever you wanted. It was. I remember playing that and walking down the street, and there's Frank Castle. Lego Frank Castle's just standing on the street. And I go up to him, and he's like, I'm getting sick and tired of these people who can't drive right in New York City. Here, take my Punisher van and kill and destroy the people who can't drive right. So you're in a Lego Punisher van, and you're driving around, and you have to destroy this reckless driving car.
I was just thinking, like, how games are today. It's so weird because, like, what's cool about watching James and Mike, just the James and Mike Mondays, or whether they're doing old video game reviews. What's cool about those channels and the gaming channels on YouTube is that when I was a kid, when a new game would come out, I didn't know that sometimes game creators were lazy assholes that just made shitty games. I had no idea. I thought, well, maybe something's wrong with me that I don't know how to play this right. Maybe it's something that's like, no, you come to find out. No, James Roth will clearly demonstrate this is just a shitty game. This is a shitty game. There's nothing wrong with you. These guys were lazy and made a shit game. And it's like, that never even occurred to me when I was a kid that they would spend time and money to develop a shit game that didn't work. Now I know better.
I will tell you, the moment that James connected with me, and I've been watching James probably since he started on YouTube back, 2006?
Yeah.
Was when he couldn't land the plane in Top Gun.
That's a funny one.
Because I could never land the fucking plane. And it wasn't until he explained how to actually land the plane, I sat in my chair and I went back in time, like 5-year-old spin, and I'm like, you motherfucker, it was right there on the screen how to land the damn plane. And you could never land the damn plane. Or Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I had Who Framed Roger Rabbit because I loved the movie. And I'm playing the game, I'm like, what does this have to do with Roger Rabbit? Why am I answering, like, riddles and shit? And can I call this hotline? Mom, can I call this line? Call it 20 years later, and it's a sex line. It's just freaking hilarious.
I gotta type a quick message. Sorry, everybody.
No problem. Multitasking.
Somebody, actually, I just got a message from an old friend of mine that you know too, but I don't know if they're your friend. An old friend of mine finally mailed my Neil Adams, Rick Grimes print to me. After all, it's in the mail. It's supposed to get it in 2 to 3 days. So thank you. I'll say thank you because I appreciate it.
I'm not
better late than never.
I will not hold my breath.
Well, we'll see. So unless it gets lost in the mail, it should be here in a couple days. But I've been waiting for that for how many years now?
Quite a few years there, man.
It's been a few years.
But, like, I'm sitting here and I'm looking on my game, on my desk here, and I've got, like, Batman Returns for Super Nintendo, which was a good beat-em-up. But watching how it evolved to Arkham. Watching how all these games just evolved. Some better than others.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I mean. I mean, I'm watching from NES, from a 2600 to NES to Super Nintendo to PlayStation to Xbox to now to what we got. And it's just fucking amazing.
It's insane. And, you know, I've been gaming my entire life. My vault is full of video games. And
I think everybody around our age has been. I mean, there's been no choice. Every kid at least has played some video games in their life. Yeah. Unless you're Amish and then you've been playing video games your whole life.
And it doesn't matter if it was, you know, like Super Mario, or if you were more into, like, the sports type games. You still play games.
Tetris was always one of my favorites. Even though I like action games. Tetris is still one of my favorites. I'll sit and play that on my phone for hours.
The only thing I hate about the phone Tetris is I hate using my finger for Tetris. I prefer, like, a controller. And I don't understand, like, I'll be scrolling my Tetrominoes down, right? And all of a sudden I'll like push down and it'll say like I held one of the pieces. I'm like, what do you mean I held one of the fucking pieces? I don't hold a piece for later. Put it back in the fucking stack. I had a place for it. You know?
Yeah.
I love Tetris. I remember that was like the game that came with the Game Boy when my parents bought me my Game Boy. Game Boy came with Tetris. And you would just lose hours playing that game.
Yeah, I had it. I had it on Game Boy too.
Great. Now, oh, great. Here it comes.
My friend, a buddy of mine that I went to high school with, and later on when he got his house, I helped him. We went to. He wanted to get some cabinet games, like real arcade cabinet games, because he was building a bar in his house. And there's a place here in Rockford that's a big warehouse just full of cabinet arcade games. You can go there and buy them pretty cheap. Like I think he paid $150 for one of them, and maybe like $200 for like really dirt cheap cabinet games that work. And we got Double Dragon, and we were looking for Donkey. We really wanted a Donkey Kong really bad, but the guy didn't have one that worked. But we got Double Dragon. We ended up getting Double Dragon and a Tetris arcade version.
Oh, nice.
And we would sit in his bar and just get loaded all night long and play Tetris matches against each other. And that was some of the funnest times ever.
So the ones I truly want, if I had my pick of cabinet games that I could have, I don't know where I'd put them in my goddamn house. I'd have to probably like re-renovate my front room from like the reading room into like the arcade room. I want.
Hey, you ever want them? I know where to get them. They got them dirt cheap.
So I want the ones I want. First, I want Bucky O'Hare. I want Bucky O'Hare because.
You see that Toyland's coming back, by the way?
Oh, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. And here's what I really don't. This one I will have to disagree with Mike on. Is he was like, a lot of when he talked about Bucky O'Hare, which great NES game. He was like a lot of things emulated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But Bucky O'Hare was a comic book as well. Bucky O'Hare was a comic book. Like I think it was like more in the UK than it was here. But it was a comic book.
Well, how many rip-off games did almost the exact same side-scroller thing as the Turtles? I mean, so many.
Well, this one was... Well, he was talking about, like, the characters in general. But, so that got a TV series, and it ran for, like, one season. So then... excuse me. They created the arcade game, which was the finale to the cartoon series. So if you loved the cartoon, you'd play the arcade game, and that was the series finale. That was the end of Bucky O'Hare, and it was fantastic. So I want that, and it was one of those 4-player ones, so you could like get 4 players. I want the X-Men arcade game, but I want the frickin' like 8. Was it 8 people or 6? Was it 8 or 6?
I think 8's too many. I think it had to be 6.
Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Storm, Wolverine, Cyclops. So it's 6. It was a 6-person game. The dual screen. It was the double screen. I want that, and I want the Simpsons. I want the Simpsons arcade game.
I barely remember. I remember we used to go when I was a kid. There were 2 arcades here in Rockford, and one of them was like up on just a building unto itself in town, and then the other one they had in the mall. So me and my buddies would go to the mall. I would spend all night in the arcade, spending all my money on fucking arcade games.
And you always hated that guy. Like the new Mortal Kombat would come out, and you're just like, oh shit, I'm gonna play Mortal Kombat. This is gonna be fucking awesome. But you always had that one guy who somehow learned every fucking move in the game, and he would beat everybody. And arcade rules.
Yeah,
you play until you get beat. So as soon as you lost to this motherfucker who somehow learned everything, you went back to the back of the line because the next kid got to play.
Yeah, well, it was always a kid younger than me that would kick my ass. I'd be like a 16-year-old in high school, and I'd have a 10-year-old kicking the shit out of me. Come on, kid.
It's like, let's go play Galaga, and we'll see who fucking wins, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Let's go play Centipede. I will wipe the floor with you.
Yeah, go try Dig Dug.
I like Dig Dug.
I love Dig Dug.
I like Qbert too. Qbert's one I used to like. Arcade Qbert was cool too.
I loved. There was one I loved. I remember Chuck E. Cheese had it. And it was a Jurassic Park game, but it was like the car, and you would sit down in the car, and it was like a rail shooter, but you were in the car, and the car would like tilt and move like back and forth and stuff. I loved that one. Nowadays, you go to Chuck E. Cheese. I haven't been in a couple of years because my kids kind of grew out of it. But I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese, and it was nothing but like crap fucking like hit the spider or
they're all like coin games and shit.
Yeah, it was like ticket games. Like, what happened to all the cool arcade games, man? Chuck E. Cheese used to have all the shit.
That's weak. That's a lot of those things are in warehouses, man. A lot of them are cabinets, man. I went to this place. This guy had thousands of cabinets just in a huge warehouse, and we got the guy just said, "Look around, see what you want." So we got to walk through this fucking huge warehouse with like sit down like table like the table games. And he had tall cabinets, he had the double cabinets, he had like everything that you've ever seen in your life was in this place. The only thing he didn't have was a working Donkey Kong. He even had a Donkey Kong, but like all the shit was tore out of the back of it, and it was like all laying on the ground.
Did he have Polybius?
I don't. If anybody had it in this area, it's probably in there, but I don't think so.
I want to play Choice. I want to play Choice 10. I want one of those Nintendo arcade machines where that you could put the Nintendo cartridges in the arcade machine and play them on the arcade. I want that.
Excite Bike.
Oh God, I got Excite Bike. It's.
No, I mean, one of my favorite one was Spy Hunter. It used to be always one of my favorite games too. That we didn't play the theme from Peter Gunn. It was a sit down one in the arcade. Yeah, that was one of my favorites. I had that on my Commodore 64. My uncle bootlegged Spy Hunter for me.
God, what else did I love I mean, the arcade and me were synonymous. Because like we had one in the mall, so your parents would like